Hey guys, I'm Adam86 and welcome back to the final episode of my Arsenal 2022-23 season series. Um, Obviously, been following Arsenal throughout the entire season and it's finally come to an end. And we're just going to go into the game and then go into what I think the season has been and what my judgment of the season is basically. So going into the last game, we had Wolves at home, which was a pretty decent tie for us really. Wolves have not been great this season. They've been a little bit better in the last couple of years or so, but yeah, they're probably one of the easiest teams to play in the league. If I'm being brutally honest, and it proved to be true. Also, before I go any further, I just want to make sure to apologise for the rain. It's currently thunderstorming outside my door right now. So if you can hear the rain, if you can hear the constant noise, I'm sorry. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up yet, but if you can hear it, I'm sorry. I wanted to record today, and yeah, I don't have much choice. So anyway, let's pass through it. So yeah, we got straight into the game, and we ended up winning 5-0, which is great. It ended up being the day for Granit Xhaka. I mean, what a play! What a story he's had at Arsenal. It was only I think like a week ago, like 7 years ago, 2016, that we signed him. He actually came up on my Facebook memories the other day, and I was like, wow. And it ended up being maybe, possibly, likely his last game of the season. Last game for Arsenal, full stop, sorry, should I say. And yeah, what a way to mark his last game potentially by scoring two really good goals. Um, and I think he's ended up with 9 goals this season, which is absolutely fantastic for a really, I would say originally a defensive minded midfielder, but he's been in the more in the attacking third this season. He's been allowed to roam free a little bit. Him and Partey have kind of got this thing where one goes forward, one stays back, and more often than not, it's Shaka going forward. Um, yeah, really good header, really good goal, really good second goal as well. Saka scoring, which is standard by this point. I think Saka's finished with our most goals. I think he's the highest scorer of the team now, which is great. Kivior getting his first goal for the league, which is for the club, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, Gabriel Jesus picked up another goal for him as well, which is good. So it ended up being 5-0, pretty comfortable. I mean, you have to say that bar a couple of times, Ramsdale probably was. I don't think he was challenged very often at all in this game. It was like a practice game. It felt like a preseason game, if I'm being brutally honest, to Wolves. Um, yeah, really comfortable, really nice day out. The weather looked absolutely amazing in England on the day, and obviously, you know, the whole they did all the lap of water stuff at the end of the season. Arteta did a massive speech, which I would assume that a lot of you have seen by now. Um, One thing I will say is that the culture at Arsenal right now seems to be very, very positive. The fans in the stadium as well seem really on board with the team, which is absolutely amazing. Arteta pointed that out in his speech. Um, yeah, so it's really good way to finish the season, to be honest. City ends up drawing, I think, to Bournemouth, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember thinking throughout the entire game, like, man, if I wanted it to go down to the last game. It would have been so cool to have the title still on the line in this game. I think we played so well because of the fact that we didn't have any pressure. There was just a dead rubber game. It was just a game to get out of the way to get to the end of the season. But if the title had been on the line, I think it would have been a lot more nervy. I think it would have been a lot more um, just awesome. It would have been so good. The weather was great. The stadium was packed and loud. It would have been absolutely. It's the most amazing moment to win the league and have the trophy ceremony right there and then that day. It would have been so special. But unfortunately, um, you know, the last few games we lost some games that we shouldn't have lost. I think, and we drew some games we shouldn't have drawn, and drew, and yeah. So I mean, people keep saying, "What do you rate the season out of 10?" And I'll say 8. I think it's 8. Like, it would have been a 9 if we'd won a cup game, a cup, sorry, a domestic cup, and it would have been 10 obviously if we'd won the league. 8 because we challenged. We didn't just do what United did a few years ago and finish second, but like 25 points behind City. Like we challenged them right up at the end, and even then, at the end, City only were only 5 points above us. They've only got 5 more points than us this season, and I don't. I mean, Liverpool, I think, took them right to the wire one time. I think they got like 1 point behind them or something. But most of the time, City won away with it. And people banter Arsenal and they say, oh, Arsenal. It's weird. It's annoying the fact that the same people that say that the start of the season never didn't have us in the top four. They're like, oh no, they're gonna probably finish fifth, maybe sixth. They're not gonna have a great season. Their transfers have been rubbish. Blah blah blah. Suddenly, the ones saying that we're complete failures and we bottled it and it's a complete failure. All Arsenal fans should be upset with themselves. Blah 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 because they didn't win the league. Was like, bro, you didn't have us in the top four in your predictions. When did your opinion change? When did Arsenal go, in your eyes, from not being top four worthy to, oh, they really should have won the title? Like, how can you just move the goalposts like that? And in my day-to-day life on Twitter and things, I don't tend to bite. There is a couple of people I do bite to. One in the DMs who I won't mention, but most of the time I don't buy it because people move the goalposts. People you flip the situation and mould the situation so that they can banter another team, which is fair enough. It is what it is. I don't really get wound up about it too much, but it just seems to be a general consensus with all the media, all the pundits, like, oh yeah, no, they're not gonna get top four this season. To suddenly, oh, it's a massive failure. They should have won the league. Oh, blah blah blah. They're a good enough team to win the league, blah, blah, blah. Well, you didn't think like that when beginning of the season, and then you start to see them now. You start to see Gary Neville and all that lot, clowns, just even now predicting next season. Oh yeah, no, it's probably going to be Chelsea and United and Liverpool. And, so, dude, has Arsenal got a transfer ban or something? Is Arsenal not going to make any signings? Are we going to Are our players going to get worse over the summer for some reason? Like, it's a double-edged sword. Some people like to, at the same time, complain that, oh, Arsenal should have done better, they should have won the league, oh, they bottled it, blah, blah. And then suddenly, oh yeah, but they're still not good enough to get in the top four next season. So, they're complete polar opposites of each other. They can't be, they should have won the league, but they're probably not going to get top four next season. Every other team's going to suddenly get better. And, I'm getting wound up. I'm just trying not to, but at the end of the day, like, I think it's an 8 out of 10. We challenged them almost to the wire. I think by the third to last game, that was when we knew it wasn't going to be possible. But up until then, like, we chased City, and I think we rattled City. I think we rattled Pep. I think we rattled all of their players. I think especially after the World Cup, when they all got back to the World Cup, they were like, holy crap, they're 8 points above us. We've been losing all these games. They were worried, and they were worried about the fact that it took them a long time to get Haaland, to play with Haaland in a way that it wasn't just Haaland scoring all the goals. They scored a lot more goals. Like Julian Alvarez, for example, scored a lot of goals towards the end of the season. I think we rattled them. I think we rattled a lot of United fans, Chelsea fans. That's why they're celebrating. That's why Chelsea fans are going all around the world, crying and laughing and happy and joy. Like, their team finished 12th. And they're happy. They're the happiest fan base in the entire world. I mean, I do have a couple of Chelsea fans who are friends of mine, and they're not celebrating. They're not happy about it at all. They're barely surviving, some of them. But the fan base online, the Twitter fan base, just seems to be ecstatic because Arsenal just almost won the league but didn't. It was like, bro, you finished 12th, and it looks. I mean, they got Pochettino now, and it looks like he's a better coach than Potter, and a million times better than Lampard. But it's not difficult to be a better coach than Lampard. But all the players are still there. They've got massive issues. They've got to sell a whole load of players, and they're still signing players. How, I do not know. I don't know how financial fair play have gone. Yeah, no, Chelsea are alright. Yeah, they're doing everything by the book. Are they? So yeah, it is what it is. Other fans bases are gonna ban every single season we get the same rhetoric of Man United are gonna challenge now. It's gonna be Man United, Liverpool, Man City now. Man United. Like, I can't wait for them to get smashed against City at the FA Cup final. Just put that to bed right now. Um, I think that's going to be a fairly comfortable game for City, to be honest with you. I mean, even Fulham gave Man United a scare, a hard time. Um, so, you got to take it. You got to take the fact that, Arsenal are going to be continuously and forever disrespected by people that supposedly are paid to be pundits and neutral and give their actual expertise, not their bias. I mean, that's what Gary Neville and everyone in the Athletic. I don't really rate the Athletic at all, to be honest with you. David Ornstein, I don't really like him at all. I think that's pretty clear now. Um, they've all been shown up. All of them didn't have Arsenal in the top four. All of them thought that Arsenal were going to be failing and flopping about. Um, Especially Gary Neville. Gary Neville legit got paid to go on camera and be seen by millions of people, and seriously say, "Oh yeah, no, not only are Arsenal gonna not win the league, but they're gonna finish third behind United. United are gonna finish second this year." Bro, we finished like 9 points above you. We were 20 points above you at one point. Like, it's just statements like that. You just know it's because they're biased. You know it's because he just doesn't like Arsenal, doesn't want Arsenal to win the league. And the fact that Man United fans like to celebrate Man City winning the league, so really, because they're going to probably win the treble this season, and the treble really right now is the only thing that Man United fans have got left to hold on to. Similar to how Arsenal fans have the Invincibles. No matter what happens with us, we've always got the Invincibles. I get it. Um, and that's for me. I mean, if City win the treble this season, then they have to go and start looking at maybe going unbeaten next season. And any team that goes unbeaten in this league, you have to say fair play, like deserve the title. Um, anyway, that's my one over. I mean, overall, I think it's been a really great season. Um, we lost Jesus for a month or two. I think it's 2 months actually. We lost Partey for a little bit. Saliba has been a massive loss for us. We just need to go on now and be extremely astute and smart in our summer transfer business, and we have to sign players now. It looks like Shaka's gone. It looks like Partey could be leaving. There's real rumours that he could be going. There's rumours that Reece Nelson might stay, he might go. Balogun, I think, is out the door already. Will Eddie be happy being second fiddle to um, Jesus again? Jesus is a bit injury prone, so maybe he gets his chance again. I'm just not too confident that Eddie can deliver in Champions League games. I mean, we do still have Owen Eddie. He's got another year on his contract. We extended his contract, but he's injured. Don't know when he's going to come back, and he's definitely not the quality we need. He's an absolutely brilliant player, and I'm happy that we have him, and he's going to do his coaching badges with us. That's great, but we need centre midfielders, in my opinion, at least two, maybe three. Obviously, Rice is being heavily linked. Casado again. Um, I mean, I would have both of them. Like, if I'm being brutally honest, we can get them. I think we should get both. But probably getting both would probably be just under 200 million, which is absolutely crazy. Um, I think Rice is in the end of his contract, so maybe we can get him a little bit cheaper. They want like 90 million for him, which is absolutely disgustingly ludicrous. I think he's in his last year of his contract, so I think we can try and get him for a little bit cheaper. Um, you know, Even though West Ham have got Europa League next season, I believe. Even if they don't, they can't say no to Arsenal if Arsenal come in for him. We're a Champions League club, and I think Rice has made it clear that he wants to go to join us. So get Rice in, and I would have Casado in as well. Um, I personally would go for Edson Alvarez. I mean, people know that I keep banging on about it. I think it's a great signing. I think he fills in at centre back as well as CDM, and he'd be cheaper than both Rice and Casado. I think we could probably get him for about 40 million, maybe even less. Um, Although Ajax will probably squeeze Arsenal more than they'll squeeze Dortmund. I mean, he's probably going to go to Dortmund. It looks like he's going to go to Dortmund, which is I'm still happy with. I'd rather him go to Dortmund than Bayern, if I'm being brutally honest, because he'll get in the team in Dortmund. Bellingham's leaving, So he walks into their team, in my opinion. They're still in the Champions League. He can still play Champions League. He's got more Champions League experience. So if you take Jesus, Zinchenko, Jorginho um, out of our squad, he's got more Champions League experience than the whole of the rest of our squad put together. So I think he is an upgrade to Xhaka, if I'm being brutally honest. He won't score goals like Xhaka does. I mean, they're different players, really. But I think he might be. I think at least an upgrade to Partey. I think Partey has had um, a very sloppy end to the season. He did all right against Wolves, but the previous few games he's been suspect. Excuse me. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tomiyasu's injury prone. I love Tomiyasu, and I think he'll stay, and I think we'll stick with him and Ben White at right back. Um, But he's injury prone, so do we cash in on him if somebody wants to come in and buy him? Do we buy a backup right back? I'll go for Julian Araujo. Um, just saying, I think he would be cool. I mean, he's good enough to be at Barcelona. He's good enough to be at Arsenal, in my opinion. As a backup, anyway. Do we go for another left back? And there's rumours that Tierney's going to go. I mean, Tierney deserves to be someone's starting left back. I don't know if he starts ahead of Zinchenko. Do we move Zinchenko up to midfield and buy another left back to challenge Tierney? Do we get by another left back to replace Tierney? We need a new centre back. I think Kivior is going to be in and around the squad now for good. I think he's an absolute quality player. But with Saliba out, I think we need someone else in as well. Somebody of top quality, you know. So probably maybe they get another centre back. Will Turner want to be back up to Ramsdale? I don't think Turner played a single minute in the Premier League. I think he did, actually. I think he may have got one game in mid-season at some point. But other than that, I don't think he's got any minutes for the Premier League. So he may want to leave. I think he did really well in the Europa League, obviously, but it wasn't meant to be. So will he be happy being second fiddle to Ramsdale again? He might want to go out and try and be a first team player somewhere else. So it's possible we could get another goalkeeper in. At striker, people keep saying we need another striker. I mean, Jesus. I think Jesus got a lot of stick. He was out for two months with a serious injury, and he was lucky, I think, to come back as quick as he did. He could have been in like another month on top of that. That definitely affected his season. He was not the same after the injury than he was before. He did score a few goals after his injury, but not enough. I think if he had stayed injury free, I think we'd have seen a lot more goals from him. I think, like I said, Balogun's at the door. I think Eddie Nketiah might want to leave. I think if he does decide to push, I think Arteta will. I think Arteta will, honour that. I think Eddie's deserved the right to leave if he wanted to, but he may want to stay. He may want to stay just for the Champions League football, because Eddie Nketiah is definitely going to come off the bench. He's going to be a bench option, and we may even start a few games. Who knows? So I don't know whether we're going to get another striker. I think striker's not the priority right now for us. And wingers, I think we're good with wingers, to be honest with you. If we keep Smith Rowe, if we keep Nelson, who apparently we are going to keep both of them, apparently. I mean, Orsi has told us, but I don't rate what he says, so it's possible that we could still lose both. But Martinelli and Saka are starting wingers. Smith Rowe can start as cam. He can play at cam. He can play at winger, left wing. So, and if we keep Reece Nelson, he plays on the right. So we've got backup. We've got enough, in my opinion, for a winging position. I think wingers is the one position we don't need. For me, right now, priority one is new centre midfielder. Sorry, and either a centre back or a player that can play centre back and right back would be awesome. And maybe a left back. Maybe a goalkeeper. Only a goalkeeper if Turner decides he doesn't want to stay at Arsenal, which I don't know. He may want to stay just for Champions League football. And that's it. I mean, we just got to go out there and do really well in the transfer market. It's different to the January. We've got more time. Arguably, we've got more money now that we've got the Champions League football. So first time back in the Champions League. I can't wait for the first game. It's going to be so great. So great. Arsenal belongs in the Champions League. I don't care what anyone else says. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna go straight into it and hopefully do really well. I want us to at least get out the group stages, get to the knockout stages, and hopefully avoid Barcelona or bloody Bayern because that's all we get. We may end up getting one of them in the groups, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, like I said, I think it was a decent season. I think beginning of the season, we just wanted Champions League football. We wanted top four. We thought it was going to be another slog for top four, and we ended up succeeding and exceeding our expectations. And I think Arsenal will go back and continue what they've done and be in the title race. I think Liverpool will improve. I think Man United will probably, they should improve. Whether they will or not, I don't know. I think Eric Ten Hag's a bit overrated in my opinion. Um, that's the thing with Man United. If you do a slightly good job, it just gets overblown and overhyped all the time, and it's just weird. But if they sign Harry Kane, that's a massive move for them. Harry Kane's a good striker, and he's playing in a really shit team right now. And if he plays in, if Harry Kane is striker for Man United are definitely a lot more scarier with Harry Kane. But if not, maybe Osimhen. But I think Osimhen's going to stay. Why not? Why wouldn't he? He's just won the league with Napoli. Why wouldn't he want to go again and win another one? Maybe try and win the Champions League or get to a final next season. Um, they changing coaches though, so you never know. But apparently the coach, I think it was Luis Enrique. He's been promised that Simon's going to stay, so I think Simon's going to stay. So it could be just a Harry Kane. What other strikers are out there that Man United could get that are, going to improve their team? I think Harry Kane makes sense. But whether Spurs will sell to a Premier League rival, I don't know. It's funny calling Spurs a rival to Man United because Spurs are at best now a top six team. Spurs are again another team that have done an absolute dreadful season, but no one's talking about it. No one's talking about Chelsea finishing 12th. It's just Arsenal bought the league. Well, it is what it is. Some teams just get away with stuff, and those two teams apparently are. So, but yeah, next season you'd have to say that next season is going to be more difficult. You have to say that City are probably going to improve in a couple areas. Whether they will have a shaky start to the season like they did this season remains to be seen, but that's my judgment on that. I think it's been a really good season. We didn't win. I think if we'd won the FA Cup, I think that would have made it a 9. If we'd won the Carabao Cup, I'd probably still be an 8. Carabao Cup's basically a pre-season game in a cup, in my opinion. The only difficult thing about the Carabao Cup is it's right back and smack bang in the middle of the season. But other than that, it's a non-entity. Even if I won the Carabao Cup, I wouldn't be excited about it. If we'd won the FA Cup though, if we'd got to the FA Cup this season, I think that would have been a 9 for sure. So yeah, we'll just move on now. We just need to make sure we do really well in the transfer window, and we'll just go straight from there. So yeah, thanks for sticking around for this whole entire series. I really appreciate it. It's been a really interesting and fun season. It's been a really fun season. The World Cup in the middle of it was interesting. The World Cup feels like a year ago now. It doesn't feel like 6 or 7 months ago. It feels like over a year ago. It's weird. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting season, and hopefully, we go into next season stronger, more depth, and who knows where this team can go. We're keeping all of our best players. Saka's renewed, Martinelli's renewed, Saliba looks like he's going to renew, Odegaard as well, Ramsdale's renewed as well. We're keeping our core players. We're not losing any players that we don't want to sell. So, yeah, we're strong and we're going to get stronger. We're going to go again next season and again prove all the pundits wrong. It'd be nice to record that and follow it. So, yeah, stay tuned for some transfer news. Any transfer news I'll do a video on. Yeah, I'll see you guys next season. So take it easy, have a good summer, and yeah, see you in a few months. Adios.